Hey everyone, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another stream. And look what we have here. We have Spongebob Square, NoLSG. And pretty much in NoLSG, all you have to do is collect all the happiness objects inside the chest. So you can do things like Mummy Escape or JF and LSG or stuff like that. You pretty much have to collect all happiness objects in the chest and beat the final boss, and the timer ends when you get the last hit on Roboplankton. So this could be a no reset, and let's see how it goes. So I'm just ballparking it. I haven't routed this or anything like that. I'm just going to use all my knowledge that I got from the Wii version to hopefully complete this run. Of course, it's my first ever run for NoLSG under 360. It should be the same thing. The only difference will be the loads, which means nothing. In terms of scale, at least. So hopefully that goes well. So I don't know. I might get an hour or something like that. Who knows? Alright, so this part is random. I have to hope that the bar on the left don't get stuck here. And the best way to get these guys together so they hit them in one hit is by get rid of this guy. And hopefully get a triple there, which I didn't do, bad luck, so I didn't get a triple. But that's like the fastest you can do that if they all go together based on that movement. That's the fastest way to do that first section right there. Gee, when the last time I played to this level? Since forever. Alright, this is another random part. I have to hope they go together as well. Which way, okay, yep, see, double kill in 2 hits. That saves quite a bit of time. So on Wii, I usually get like a 220 switch, I think. Oh, I almost forgot to do here. Get this one a robot, but instead of hitting the blow up button, we can just jump over that gap with the hidden snail. That is a pretty tight jump, but I got it first try, which is harder. And animation cancel right there, saves a few seconds, well, a few microseconds, but still time saves. So on Wii, I used to hit that switch at like 220 if I'm very fast, or 230 at the worst. But on Xbox, you seem to hit it like at 210 or low 2.0, so that's good.
Jellyfish jelly on the floor! Jellyfish jelly on the floor!
Alright, this is barrel clip right here. Whoops. Ah, damn it. Yeah, this used to be awful, but I'm a bit better now, even though I failed to jump many times. Here's this barrel too. Pretty much we're going to get this barrel to the ledge so we can actually get up there. Harder, easier said than done.
Boy, when you stop and think about it, the ocean
More speed there. Oh, damn it. Yeah, this is a hard trick. This is used to be like the hardest trick for me. Well, it still is, but like, it's really annoying. Because the barrel can go through the floor, it can get stuck, all that. Makes that trick very hard. So yeah, thankfully I did do that many times on Wii, so I'm a bit used to it now. That still can cause chaos. I don't know a good pattern for this. I have to watch some previous ones to see the best way to go about this. I know on Wii I used to get like a 23 at the most, 23 bots. Before having to switch for the third time and, you know, destroy the bots without the power up. Let's get like 23 here, 22. 22. Alex said I don't know the best pattern for this on 360 is, but that's what I kinda used to do on Wii. So my gold on Wii is a 450. That's my Wii gold. As you can see, I'm not even come close to that. I think you get down to like 420 at the very best in JF. At least that's what I heard. Oh, we down to we down to Kelp Forest. Unfortunately, the Wii version Wii, I used to do a hammer clip that no longer works on 360, at least not easily. So I have to substitute it with another trick, which I call it with Cole method or Jack Juke. There's also a safer way, but I don't know how to do that. So I left with Red Coal and Jack Juke. I don't feel confident with yet, so I have to do Red Coal method for now. Good. And there we go, I'm out of bounds. And from there I can death warp to the later part of the stage. And a death warp because once you outside of bounds in this game, you can't go back into bounds. It's like the wall is solid on both sides. Which is unlike most games, but yeah, death warping is cool too, I guess. And actually, I actually like it better that you can't go back inside bounds. It makes some outbound movements much easier when what you're about to see later in this run, especially in Santa. Although it can work against you, like in Mama Layer. Let's keep going here. I'm performing spin boosts because you do get a little bit of speed if you jump and spin. So with all those spins combined, you may be able to save like a second or two from this level. Alright, next trick is Eric Andre, which is another hammer clip. It allows you to skip this hallway section. Alright, I failed it, so we're not gonna do any Eric Andre this one. Naturally, you would be able to go up bounds there and go to the arena section with the rising platforms, but since I failed it, we had to do it the normal way.
I feel 32% happier.
Alright, this is a spin boost right here. We're doing a second spin boost for the run. This has to be a high one, so you have to go very close to the bot in order to get up there. And unfortunately, if you do Eric Andre, you will have to collect his buff power up again, so I have to fall down and do another spin boost off the sky. So yeah, that's one of the downfalls of Eric Andre. But of course, it's let the time save, so that's why we do it. Skipping the hallway saves like, I will say 20 seconds or something like that. Remember that fence like a pro. Now here you have to be careful of the plant traps which is scattered all around this area. So all I have to do is like jump and walk in between them. From here I instantly destroy these real big buff bots and then I spin boost off this final guy. Or at least try to. Damn it, this is so bad. Whatever. I'll do it this way. Okay, spawn back. Unfortunately, I perform a very bad spin boost, which pretty much made me not go high enough, so I missed the platform. We have this guy here, and this boss is pretty easy. I'm going to manipulate him so he travels the less, so he starts attacking more. By doing that, I allowing myself to make his cycles a bit shorter for me, so he can like die faster. So I could show his vulnerability, and I'm gonna try to stand in a perfect location to instantly grab the happiness object, which saves like, I don't know, half a second maybe to a second. A bit far to the right. If you're right under that, you can just grab the happiness object without even moving. Alright, 10 kelp right there. I'll probably be done with Robo Patrick if that was a really good run. This is gonna be a short stream because I don't feel like doing another one after this. I just don't feel like it. Next we have this Robopat. And this boss is pretty easy too. All you have to do is kill the bots how quickly as you can and to get the hit on him as soon as he's vulnerable. That's pretty much the premise and our strategy for this boss. Nothing like glitchy or any speedrunning trick. You're just going fast. The biggest thing that can go wrong is you losing buff, and with losing buff, you're unable to unbuckle his belt. So, yeah, and then you hit his butt like that. And then get a position to actually kill the bots as fast as I can. Oh, damn it, okay, that's bad. So every cycle he destroys one of these boxes. Pretty much the ice makes you slippery, and the jelly, which he's going to smash after this cycle, will make it so you can't attack. So pretty much water is fine, or the ice, whatever you call it, and the jelly, you want to steer him away from the jelly, for sure. There's no like any specific pattern. This is just what I'm used to. And when you get into a rhythm like this, you can optimally kill the boss more easily, and less stuff tends to go wrong if you have like a strategy like I'm using for this boss. But there's millions of ways you can like lure him and try to defeat him fast. It's just the way I know it. I know how to do it. Been using it for quite a while. And there you go, Robopat. Now, fortunately, after defeat Robopat, there's a slight chance to make it a slow load. I am not sure if this is true for the Squid boss as well, but in Robopat, there's a slight chance you make it slow load, which sucks because it's completely random.
I can feel that.
Carry on to Fry Cook. Fry Cook is an interesting level. Oops. It does have some auto-scrolling levels and sections in it, but there's a lot of cool speed strats that we do to skip some sections, just speed up the pace, and makes this level actually one of my favorites to actually witness. In fact, this level, it was the reason why I began speedrunning those games, because of those bus jumps. So we locked new ability. This is called the cannon shot or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. But pretty much you can do this. And now Spongebob is able to do that anywhere. And it's not that useful in a run, but it does come helpful in few circumstances. Other than pressing those buttons, which you'll see. I may use it a few times to actually kill the robots or the enemies faster than I usually be able to do, because when you switch between your weapons rapidly, you can destroy the enemies fast. Here you have to hope that the Spongebob don't get in your way, and if he does, I just launch a whole bunch of those cannons at him, and hopefully he'll die. This is kind of a auto-scroll kind of section as well, because you have to wait for that spinning orange guy to get out of the way. and no matter how fast you are, he will be get in the way. So there's a better safety net in that section there. I think that orange thing starts betting when you load the area from the first bar burst. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, here to be careful because if you're too cranky or hungry, you can actually fall off the bus or even die from those steamers. So this part can be challenging. Gotta be aware. I'm gonna take an early jump just to save time off this bus ride. I'm gonna jump around this trigger. And then we get into our first trick, which we call bus 1 skip, and pretty much these buses carry these humongous, tall, invisible walls. But by doing that movement, you can jump over those humongous, invisible walls. And by doing that, you can pretty much just skip over that whole bus section, the whole bus. Alright, what else do we have here? Oh, this is called Tub Skip. Allows you to skip a spongy section right there by Mr. Crab. So whoops, that's really bad actually. What happens there? I didn't jump for whatever reason. Okay, yeah, I'm losing a lot of time here. But that's okay. But anyway, so I'm gonna jump over this tall invisible wall again. If this game would let me. Oh, yikes, okay, this is really bad. Pretty much I died in the worst possible section in this level because the checkpoint is so far away. Anyway, what I was about to say is we go do Tub Skip, which lets you skip the sponge section and go right into the other section.
I'm so happy I could hug a jellyfish hide.
And you have to do a few blind jumps to actually do it, as you're about to see. So you kind of just have to like get used to the movement and how kind of memorize how big the out-of-bounds platform is. So let's start by doing this, then here, and oops, okay.
No, that's it.
Damn it! I activated the checkpoint there. Oh, sorry, the Mr. Krabs cutscene there. So unfortunately, I jumped and just died immediately afterwards because the cutscene disables my movement. Anyway, that's pretty much Tub Skip right there. Damn, I'm so rusty at this. This is another skip called Bus 2 Skip. And once again, this bus is carrying an extremely tall and wide visible wall. But by doing these movements, once again, you can jump over that wall. You might saw Spongebob just bump into it a bit there. That's how tall those visible walls are. Okay, whatever. So this is a power-up right here, this 3 of them. We never use a Sandy power-up, but this is Squidward, which is the most useful power-up that you'll see in this run. You will see it once again in 24 hours, but pretty much it's Squidward, which shoots these awful notes at the robots, which is pretty pog. And the reason why we don't use a Sandy power-up, even if it's in the direct way, like we didn't use the Sandy power-up to kill Forest, it's because she's actually is very slow, and you have to go over the enemy itself to actually defeat it. So we avoid her at all costs. There's one section that in Mumble that you do actually have to use that, but there's a way to skip all of Mumble. I'm not preferring to the Mumble skip because that's illegal. We do another trick to skip all of Mumble. I'm sure what I'm trying to do there is if you reflect on a perfect spot when the reflector is moving, you can actually hit the machines without the purple being exposed, the pink target being exposed on the reflector. So I failed to do that, but it's okay. And here to be careful, because if you're under that chest when it falls down, you can actually get stuck inside the bus. Apparently don't build doors in those buses, so I'll be careful of that. So right now, I'm actually a bit slower. I'm actually a bit slower than my read time. So it just shows how much time I lost due to that death, the tub skip, which was like the only real mistake that I made. Obviously, there was a few others, but that was the biggest.
You know, all these great memories are starting to help me.
I can't remember exactly, but I know I'm out of kelp, out of fry cook by 19, I think 40, something like that. Oh, or was it 1950? I can't remember, but it was around that
Ice is so
margin of
smooth and
time.
shiny.
Definitely not 20, a little before, lower 20. So this is a new trick called Scientist Skip, or actually I don't even think we have a name for it yet, but pretty much this allows you to skip almost all of Sienta, which saves like 4 minutes. So like I said before, if you're outbound, you can't go back into outbound, so we do these movements here, and unlike any percent, you actually go on top of these areas right here, and on top of the icicles and the boxes to go around the store. And because most of the levels in this game wraps around each other, you may notice right now we're in a much later part of the level. And from here you have to navigate yourself around like the perimeters of these hallways and be very careful, especially this jump, which is really hard, because if you get pushed too far out, you will die. But this is when you can actually see the two-way barrier in play. The two-way, once you go back, when you're outside bounds, you can't go back inside bounds. That's when you really see that in play when doing this out bounds. You also see it again in Quarry Island.
I'm a whirling dervish.
Got it. Shoot.
I'm a
Alright, you can see I'm not good at these gum sections, but you know, whatever.
jellyfish hive.
So we go into the level's boss, and there's actually an instant kill you can do. For some reason, developers left his death trigger in this room way above where I am right now. Well, not above where I am, but above like the doorway area. So if you do this, you can actually fly into his death trigger and then kill the boss instantly. And wow, I actually did a first try. But so yeah, that's one of the most funnier tricks in the gun.
There you go, Squidward.
But yep, that's pretty much Santa. Now things even get more crazy than Murmur because we go do something similar, very similar, except it's a bit more vertical. And you see what I mean? And you literally skip the whole level by doing this out of bounds move right here. Because the levels this level once again do wrap around each other, like wraps around. So you start near the end of the level, but you have to go around this huge circle to actually get to the end. By doing this out of bounds movement, you can cut out that circle and go all the way straight to the end. Alright. So from here, I'm going to jump on this rock. This rock right here. Spin here and jump to here, then jump there and to the icicle, to the rock icicle, and then I'm gonna jump and spin. And already you can see this is where the tiles would be, the timer tiles would be, and you have to run how fast you can. Anyway, so here go unload the stage, then reload again by jumping into here, and then go jump these solid red pipes which they left solid for some reason. And then from there, final arena already. In less than 1 minute, reach to the end of the game. And you can see me how I would normally fight these enemies without buff, of course. If you have buff, I will be using him, of course, obviously, because he destroys enemies much faster. Here, you just have to destroy 15 enemies, which is one of the longer enemy fights you'll see. That's not a boss. So yeah. Very casual past this point. Come on. That was good, I think. And then I collect the happiness object, and that's the tile level. I will say that saves like 7 minutes at minimum. Very, very cool skip right there. And a good history too, because before we had to do a lot more loading and unloading. It was hard. Then Then McClane was discovered, which was a death warp, and then the most recent trick, which you saw right now. I forgot what I was gonna say, whatever. Next is Robo Squidward. And pretty much what this is pretty much another level boss fight. And it does have a few cool tricks you can do in it. I mean by few I mean just one. But this is still a cool boss. Also very difficult because I get used to the platforming. Now I think I could positively say now I'm above my Wii PB time right now. So because the mumble trick used to be hard to do. My PB in this, by the way, on Wii is a nice damage boost there. My PB on the Wii is I think a 49 something, 49, 20, 12, something like that. Alright, that never happened. Damn it. This is why this is kind of like a laser neck sword right here, because you kind of have to hope that everything dodges you, so you don't have to defend yourself like I had to do there. So I try to do a movement that limits your chances of actually getting hit, but it doesn't work all the time. I haven't really practiced it too much anyways. Oops. Yeah, this is not really good boss fight. Here they hit this target right here to get rid of that geyser, but you don't want to hit because the goo aka water is dangerous in this game. Similar to BFEB, but you know, same thing. Now this is our trick. Yeah, you know, very hard. You just go onto that, and it brings you all the way down, all the way down to the area that you're supposed to be. So you kind of cheat by doing that, by going to this platform early. There's a way to skip that animation right there, but I failed it because I technically really don't know how to do it, in all honesty. But sometimes I do get lucky and get it. And that's Robo Squidward. Takes like 3 minutes to defeat, or something like that. At least on Wii it took 3 minutes. And there you go. Alright. Next is 24 hours, which is the longest level in the whole game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I split a bit early there, but 24 hours is by far one of the longest levels. And it takes over like almost 8 minutes on average for me to beat. So it's fun.
I can almost remember where
Ankle Island is technically longer, but I don't include the boss. And we don't even do that anymore. We actually do a skip that skips all of Kauai Island and it goes all the way down to the level's boss. So that level is also very broken too.
Years ago, at this very...
Wow, we didn't even hit 30 minutes yet. That's just how much faster 360 is. And of course 360 has much low load times than the Wii/Wii U. It's close. But still really good. 33, 32 or 33 ground. I didn't read that properly.
There are signs that signal the approach of a hair-slinging slasher.
The phone is a bit different on 360. Some minor differences other than the load screens. The load times, I should say. So here we could do a little skip here that skips a fight. So you don't have to fight the enemies, you can just skip the cutscenes and the fight and save like, I would say like a minute to a minute 30 maybe altogether, or it could be a bit less than that, I'm not entirely sure. So believe it or not, there's actually no way yet to get past those teeth, so we do have to drain the acid and get buff to destroy the teeth. Kind of surprised about that, but it's one of those things that you really can't skip. like actually one of the only things, like one of the only battle sections that you can't skip slash puzzle you can skip in this game. And most of them you can just skip. There's a way to skip almost all of them. Is Dizzy right there? He's gonna be playing a role later in the level. Come on, get it. Lose buff. I actually lose buff here, and there's a reason for that. It's because when you get to the gum section, if you lose buff while over water, you die. If you get hit by a geyser and you have buff, you're pretty much dead because you instantly fall into the water. But if you NoLSG, you won't fall instantly into the water, you just take damage. So that's why I do get hit there on purpose. Just to negate that risk. And more likely you probably will get hit here. See, I will got hit right there and die if I was buff, so that's why I do it. And also get a buff out of this section too, so that's cool. Alright, so here, your goal beyond this area is to not lose a buff. That's one of the hardest things to do. So, because A, you need buff to do a trick late in the level, a skip late in the level. You need buff to actually do this arena right here and the arena at the end of the level. And also, buff has the spin ability, which makes the platforming section after this a bit faster. So that's why you can lose buff. You're losing at least a minute if you lose buff here. Or of course a bit less if you lose them a lot later. But just hold on to buff, that's all you have to do. So I'm gonna try to do that. Which is easier said than done, of course. So this is our platforming section. It's the hardest platforming section in the game, for me at least. So I'm going to cut some corners here and try to go kind of fast. Well, not really that fast. It's actually going to be a bit safe since this is my first run. You have to be careful of getting hit by the lightnings because not only that you lose buff, it can actually shoot you off and kill you instantly, so I have to be careful. I can wait for this. There might be a way to avoid that platform all the way, but for now I'll just wait for it. We'll actually punch. Alright, got to perform a few movements so he won't follow me because this guy can take away your buff very easily if not careful. So by doing a movement just behind Squidward's boat, you can get him stuck, get the drill enemy stuck behind, say, the tikis, and will never follow you, which makes no sense, but it works. Alright, that's our second to last spin boost in the game. We haven't seen those since, I think, Forest. So yeah. And this is the black heel again. So this is the other reason why you need buff, other than those fights or whatever. This is the other reason why you need buff. There's a backup to this if you lose buff, but if you have buff, you can do this trick which I'm about to do. Which is a spin boost and you hit a target. Naturally you use your reflectors, but if you have buff, you can do a spin boost and go directly to the target and skip blowing up the thing and doing the balloon thing. Okay, I lost buff here, so I have to do this now. I used to be really good at that, but now I've just been just losing buff. You can't do the trick with NoLSG. Naturally you would jump on the reflector thing, similar to Fly Cook, but since I lost buff, you don't have the spin ability and you can't do it. You need the spin ability with buff to do it. Damn it. There we go. So I'll say I lose at least 30 seconds here because I had to do this and I have to do the final fight without buff. I would consider that the most riskiest part about this level is that area because you can easily get hit there if you spin too late and you don't get a good camera angle as well, so pretty risky area. This is the final fight right here. We go get the Squidward power up so I can destroy these guys fast. Alright. Damage, destroy, die. You want to do this as fast as you can so more bots can spawn. And also, if you wait too long, these spinny guys will defend themselves by spinning, so that's not good. So do what to do as fast as you can. The hammer bots can't defend themselves, so you're free to hammer them anytime you want. Sorry to hit them with the cannons and the squiggle power up anytime you want. But the hammer bots are completely defenseless, and you just hit them anytime you want with the range attack. There we go. Yeah, that was like 8 minutes. I think my Wii gold is better than that. I think my record here is like a 750 in practice. So there's definitely a lot of time to be safe here. Alright, then this is probably gonna be like a 45, 48 if I had to guess. It just depends how well Koi Island Cap works. So Koi Island Cap does take advantage of the levels wrapping around each other. It's kind of like a big circle, and the treehouse is at the beginning of the game. So instead of going around a huge circle and going to the treehouse, which is at the end of the level, you can actually go out bounce and skip the circle and just go straight to the final boss. And involves using a hammer clip. So what I'm gonna do is destroy these big bots how fast as I can, and go stand somewhere here. Yeah, this does involve a hammer clip, by the way, fortunately. And then from there, you should be able to get hit, clip in. I failed the first time. Let's try that again. By the way, there's like, I think 4 hammer clips in this one. Alright, there's one right there. Okay. I think the spin bot can mix up the trick a bit, so to be careful of that. I don't know if he is the reason why they get it this time, but okay, there you go. So from that, you can go out of bounds. See the treehouse right there? This is like the last hall in the game. You jump to the first hallway to the game, to the last hallway to the game. And from there, you can go back inside of bounce, like right there, and then go right to the treehouse. And that's Koi Island Skip. And this boss is the longest boss in the whole entire game. I believe it's even longer than the patch boss and squid boss, so this will be fun. It's actually really boring, so you know, whatever. But good thing about this boss though is at the end of the game, so you don't have to like reset a run because it's after you fight this boss. So that's a good thing about having really bad annoying bosses at the very end of the game. You just don't have to worry about it. Oh, you say into it too much. Alright. So the premise is very simple. All you have to do is wait for him to launch his attack, go around the whole arena, and then once you get to the center, you can just attack him. Right now you can't attack him now because he's invincible. He only reveals his target on his head is when he finishes his 2 attacks. And then once he finishes those 2 attacks, he'll reveal his target right here like he's about to do right now. And you just hit it. And boom. And then you're going to repeat that 2, 4, 6 times.
way.
You may notice I try to get him into the center of the platform, and the reason for that is so he won't like freeze and go into Loom Town. If you don't know what I mean though about it, you just don't want it to happen in your runs. That's all I can say. But it's really, really fun to look out when he freezes because you hit the wall. Oh, this could be like a 47, I have to guess, or 40, 48, something like that.
But you got the wrong number, sister.
And there it is. You get the karate gloves, the red versions. Alright, there you go. Now we're off to the final boss, which is pretty much an all-scroller. But the base challenge in the final in Roboplankton, which is the final boss, is to actually not to lose buff. You just have to don't lose buff, and you're pretty much fine. Of course, you don't want to die, but that's true for like any level. You don't want to die any level, unless you do it on purpose. So there you go. So the premise of this boss is simply you just have to follow it down in downtown Bikini Bottom. Just follow it and wait for his mouth to open, and he throws a few enemies at you, and you want to destroy those enemies as fast as you can, as you're about to see here. Because if you destroy the enemies very fast, he destroys the building on his right faster. So you're gonna continue with the level more quicker. So you do have to want to make sure you're good at these fights right there. Don't lose time. Boom. That's the pattern I used for that first section. Other than that, everything else should be defeated with buff. You really don't want to lose a buff in this level. And because A, this is at the very end of the game, and B, you lose so much time. I mean, lose like 20 or 30 seconds if you lose buff, I think. Oh, yeah, it really depends where you lose buff. Okay, if you lose them like at the very beginning, you lose probably more like a minute. If you lose them like more close to the end, you may lose only 10 seconds. So it really depends when you lose buff. Right. Good. I'm gonna try to play safe here a bit because I don't need to rush at all. Oh god, okay, I actually lost buff here. I actually feel like resetting. It sucks too because I do this all the time 90%. I'm actually supposed to be being safe this time. I'm just not used to being safe, so I probably lost buff that way. I think I could do another run of this. Yeah, I feel like it. And this is what you should be doing with buff, but of course I lost buff, so... And you lose buff by getting hit by anything. If something damages you and you get hit by it when you're buffed, you lose buff, so... That's why it's so easy to lose buff. You pretty much have played this damage list to keep him. Jeez, that's so slow. So for me, I will say I lose him like at near the end, at the like middle of when I need to keep buff. So that sucks. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Pardon me, I have to crush you now.
I missed a camera angle. I probably will miss this. Okay, never mind. Alright, I'm going to actually go. Ah, shoot. Oh no, whatever. my pattern is completely different if we have buff, so I'll lose the time for that. This will quite give me like a 47 because of these mistakes I'm making. 47, 48, something like that. Oh no, my 49 maybe actually. And there you go. From here, this is the final cycle, and I go fast here because if you get left behind, if you get left behind, you will just die instantly. So you have to make sure you keep up ahead or with this little bot, with the plank bot, I should say. And there's your buff, so you get hit at that last section won't matter. Alright. And from there, you just continue. See how fast you destroy the enemies with buff. From there, you just continue. There's a visible geyser there, so I just wait for the geyser to go away. Because if you get hit with by the invisible geyser or invisible geyser while you're buff, you instantly die, similar to 24 hours. So make sure you don't get. Make sure you go over that or wait for the invisible geyser to disappear. I normally do both. Wait for it to disappear and go over, just to be extra secured. Because of course you don't lose any time to wait if you wait for it, since it is an auto scroll. And from there, you wait for his final phase. You hit his hand, and then you can just go inside and complete this game. And the time ends when you automatically lose buff there. There's a anti-buff trigger on that robot, so you instantly will lose him. Only on the third cycle though. But once you're in here, destroy the machines for the last time, and then you stop the timer when the heart is about to explode. Just before the heart explodes. Right there. 46, 42, not bad start. Made some huge mistakes, but not bad. I take it.
I love it when a plan comes together.
And from there, that's it for this game. NoLSG, much funner than any percent. This is like the best segment ever created for this game, because before you have to do like the same tricks like 5 times at 80%. But in NoLSG, it's much more unique because all the tricks you only do once, and it literally explores how fun this game actually is as a speedrun.